YouTube, what's good? It's your host with the most, helping people like you from coast to coast. Wave Man Mike, and we're back for another video. Stay tuned. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you how to do side tapers on yourself. Okay, odds are you know what a taper is, and you're probably terrified to do it on yourself, as you should be. The tapers and the hairline are like the two areas that people are most afraid to cut on their own head, and there's good reason for it. These are the two hardest areas to cut, and they're the hardest to get right. But today I'm going to try my best to explain what I know to you. First, I'm going to list the materials that you'll need. The first material you'll need, quite honestly, this one is obvious. You're going to need a clipper. Next up, you're going to need guards for your clipper. Then you're going to need either a brush or a comb. Personally, I like using brushes. And finally, you're going to need a trimmer. Now I'm going to explain why you need each one. The trimmer is honestly optional. You don't absolutely need the trimmer, but if you're looking for really sharp, precise, detailed work, then you're going to need the trimmer. And you're probably going to already want to have a trimmer anyway if you're going to do stuff like your hairline. By the way, I did drop 2 other videos for haircuts. I did a full haircut tutorial and I did a hairline tutorial. So if you're interested in those, go click the links down below. Next up, the clipper. The clipper is what you're actually going to use to cut your hair. Now I'm going to do an explanation of what it means for your clipper to be open and closed. When your lever is like this, in the back position, it's open. When it's forward like this, it's closed. I'm gonna get up closer so you can see what happens when you open and close your clipper. You see these blades right here? These are what is actually cutting your hair. And this is kind of like a guard, but it's not really a guard. When your clipper is closed, these blades get closer to your hair and cut the hair lower. When it's open, you can see this extends itself, making the cut come out higher. If that explanation wasn't good, then I'll drop another explanation in the description. Next up, guards. For a taper, there are 3 main guards that you're going to want to use: the 0 guard, the 1 guard, and the 2 guard. Depending on which brand you have, they might call the 0 guard something else. They might call it the half guard. Also, there is an additional guard in between the 1 and 2 called the 1.5. If you really want to foolproof your tapers, then you can go ahead and purchase that and use that as well. So you put the guard onto the clipper. This is a 0 guard, and you can see the clipper is open. So you can kind of call this a 0.5. This is the 0 guard on the clipper with the lever closed. That's just a 0. When you open and close the clipper, you're going to be creating guidelines and blending out those guidelines. The way that I like to do it is use my trimmer, create a bald guideline, then get my clipper, open it with no guard, and go up about a ½ inch. Then there'll be a clear, even section that you can see that was cut. You'll see a line where that bald line is from the trimmer. What you want to do is take your clipper and close it, then cut just barely on that line, and you want to get slightly higher. And when you get higher, you want to move this a little bit more open each time. Let me draw an explanation of what I'm saying. Okay, first you want to cut your bald line. You can do this either with the trimmer or with the clipper all the way closed with no guard. Then you want to get your clipper and cut another line above that with the guard open, like this. Just imagine this paper is your head. So bald line, and then clipper with no guard with the lever open. So this is what the bottom line is. This is what the top line is. Clippers don't only have 2 settings, open and closed. You can adjust it in between those sections. So you can halfway open it or halfway close it, or you can do it almost all the way closed and almost all the way open. So here's the closed position. I'm just gonna push it just a little bit and then cut just above that bottom line, right about there. Then I'm gonna open it halfway and cut just above that line that I just cut, right about there. Then open it a little bit more, almost all the way open, but not quite, right about there. You see these? These are all steps in between to fade out the tape. And this would apply for each guard. So right now we're doing this with no guard on, right? So you have no guard closed, no guard slightly open, no guard halfway open, no guard where it's almost all the way open, and then no guard where it's all the way open. Then you take that same idea and do that with the 0 guard. So now this line becomes no guard all the way open. You're gonna cut another line right here with the 0 guard open, and then you're gonna do these same notches. This, however, is above, obviously, where you did the last set. And then you're just gonna keep doing that with guards until it blends in to the top of your head. These same guidelines work with low tapers, high tapers, fades, all of that. So now I'm done with the instructions. Now let me demonstrate what I just told you. So now I'm going to make the first guideline. Remember, you don't have to use a trimmer for the first guideline. You can just use the clipper and use no guard with the lever all the way closed. So this would look the exact same. The only difference is that if you use a trimmer, you get a much closer bald look. Remember that brush I was telling you about? Well, now it's time to use it. After each guideline that you do, you want to brush your hair down so that your hair lays back in place, and it makes it easier for you to see what you're actually doing. And whatever you do to one side, obviously you want to do that to the other side so that it can mirror what you just did. Okay, so now take a moment to observe those guidelines and basically just check, do you want them to be higher? Do you want them to be lower? How do you want them? I know, I've already said it a million times, but I just want to give you another reminder. For the line that I just did, you could have also done that with the clipper with no guard with the lever all the way closed. Now it's time for the next step. Do you remember what it was? That's to cut with the guard all the way open. At first you had it closed, now you have it open. And you're just going to cut right above the line that you just made. And remember, after each time you cut something, use your brush to just get those hairs to lay back down the way they are. Now do the same thing on the other side. Brush down those hairs on both sides and move on to the next step. Remember what I told you. You're gonna close the lever all the way and then open it in increments. So you're gonna start from this closed position, and then you're gonna move it a little bit more towards open, and then a little bit more than that, and then a little bit more than that. And each one of those are different guidelines and steps into blending and fading and tapering your taper. Remember that explanation I told you when I was drawing on the piece of paper? You're going to start at that bottom section, and then you're going to slightly open the lever. Then you're going to halfway open it. Then you're going to have it so that it's almost completely open, and then you're going to have it all the way open. And you're just basically notching that lever closer and closer to being open, and just going on top with it being more and more open. And then after you do that with no guard, you're going to do that with the 0 guard. And then you're going to do those same steps. All the way closed, slightly open from that position, halfway open, slightly more open than that, and then all the way open. And then you're going to do those same guidelines with the 1 guard and then the 2 guard. So now I'm just going to sit back and I'm just going to let you watch me do it. I'm taking the 0 guard, I'm putting it on my clipper, and I'm going to keep the lever open and then make the next guideline. Brush those hairs down. Now you can clearly see the difference between the 0 guard open and the no guard open. And you're just gonna go in between that with the closed and halfway closed, you know, all the different notches that I told you about. So I just finished with the 0 guard with the lever open, and watch how I close the lever, and now I'm going to attack the bottom section of the section I just created, and watch just the bottom of it. You see what I'm doing? And this is with the lever all the way closed. You can see it's kind of blending out already. Now I'm going to go ahead and open that lever just a little bit, about 25% more than I already had it open. So now when I do the other side, I'm just gonna sit back and I'm not gonna give instructions. And why I'm doing this is because I want you to be able to watch and follow along without me doing instructions, kind of to see if you are able to memorize this, if you know what to do with the lever each time you put a new guard on. So now I'm going to go ahead and start with the 1 guard, and I'm just going to give a quick explanation just in case that wasn't already clear. So basically think of these blendings like a building. The building has 5 floors. For some reason, you're going to build the 5th floor first, which is with the lever all the way open. Then you're going to go back down to build the 1st floor with the lever all the way closed. Then you're going to close the lever you're going to open the lever about 25% to build floor 2. And then open the lever 50% to build floor 3. then open the lever about 75% to build floor 4, and then floor 5 is already there. You've already blended into floor 5 because that's the first step you did. You know what I'm saying? I hope this comparison made any sense at all, because it actually makes sense to me, so I'm hoping it makes sense to you. Okay, so like I've said before, you can keep going with these guidelines. You can go on to the 2 guard and the 3 guard, the 4 guard, depending on how high your hair is. Usually you only need to go up into the 2 guard anyway, but sometimes you may need to use a higher guard. For me, I'm only going to go into the 1 guard, and I'm going to finish blending out with that. But remember, it's not going to be perfect because I'm not a barber, you're not a barber, or at least, you know, most of us aren't barbers. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so we're actually reaching the end of this video. Just always remember those tips I taught you for the guidelines. And if you do, you'll be fine. You'll be able to do the tapers and even do fades quite easily. But yeah, that's the end of this video. I hope you pressed the like button by this point, because I took hours out of my day to film and edit this video for you. In fact, when you hear me talking, I'm still editing, and it's about 12 hours after I started editing and like 3 days after I started recording. So just keep that in mind. Press the like button. You guys are actually watching me film another video right now, a hairline tutorial. But yeah, that's the end of this video. If they ask you who I am, I'm Waveman Mike. So subscribe, drop a comment, and don't forget to like. Enjoy your day.